Hey guys, Benjamin Goodpasture here, Goodpasture Homes. We're a real estate investing company. We do fix and flips, we do BRRRRs on multifamilies, and we also do short-term rentals. So today I want to talk about the exit on BRRRR investments, talking about appraisals and refinancing, especially during a recession and with high interest rates. So we just got done with an appraisal on a property that we're doing a BRRRR on. And just so you know, a BRRRR is buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. So it's a great strategy. It is, we'll go into it more another time. But mainly I'm talking about this single family house that we bought. And so I bought this house for $450,000. I was planning on putting 75 to 100 into it. So all in with what I owe my lender, we're looking at about $570 is what my all in, what I have to pay them back at the end of 6-8 months on this project. So I was unsure of this appraisal. Appraisals, you just never know. One appraisal could give one value, the next a different. It's just you're at the mercy of whatever they think the value is going to be. So I was projecting bad case scenario 600,000, best case scenario 750. I needed at least 750 to make it a perfect BRRRR. So that means when I refinance it, there's enough equity in the deal that it pays off my lender without me bringing money to closing. So I needed that number to be 750. So with the remodel, we did a full remodel. All new bathrooms, new kitchens, new paint, refinished the pool, new fences. We actually did quite a bit more rehab than what I was originally planning. And knowing what I know now, I'm glad I did, because the house, it fully is turnkey. It is very dialed in. So like I said, this past week we got the appraisal. It came in at $770,000. I was literally high that whole day on cloud nine, just so excited, so encouraged by that value that came in. And it really just showed that the work that we did and what we chose to do on a remodel paid off. So that means when we refinance next week, my lender gets paid back in full. So I have to bring no money to the table. And we created 25% equity in this deal using other people's money. So we built in about $200,000 of equity in this deal, which that adds $200,000 to our net worth. So that's great, whenever we want to sell it. Obviously the market, equity can change, but historically houses appreciate and we want to hold this property for the long term. So right now it's up on Airbnb. We've been renting it out. One thing that slowed us down is the pool. We've had to refinish it, like I said. That's a side story, but it has slowed us down. But the appraisal, always have a plan A and a plan B, know what worst case scenario is. So you might need to have some money saved up. Like if it comes in low, that means you might have to bring money to close in. It could be $1,000 or it could be tens of thousands of bucks. Worst case, you hope you don't have to bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars. Depending on the deal, it could still be a good one. For example, we did a BRRRR on a duplex and the value came in at $300,000. And my payoff for the lender was like right around or a little under $200,000. So I was hoping to pull out some money because I probably had $20,000 of my own money in the deal. But a lot of that was furnishing it. So anyways, we had enough to pay off the lender, but I didn't have enough to pull out money. So it wasn't a perfect BRRRR. I left in $20,000 in the deal, but I was okay with that because we cash flow $2,500 a month which is great. And honestly, I think the property is worth more than that $300,000. So to me, I was okay with that. So talking about the risk, the reward with the recession and inflation. When we bought this property, interest rates were 3%, 4%. 4% on investment properties, high 2s and 3s on primary homes. So I didn't know what the rates would be today. You know, no one has a crystal ball. You don't know what they're going to be. I don't know where they're going to be a year from now. So it is very important that you make sure your numbers work and that you have enough margin in there to make sure you still cash flow if those rates go up. So for us, I mean, this kind of is a borderline deal for me of either selling it and just cashing out or keeping it as a rental, because it doesn't cash flow the same as it would have 4 months ago. So my rate jumped up 2.5%. And so that means my mortgage went up quite a bit as well. And this being a nicer home, I am seeing some risk in the short-term rental market right now with, you know, if we're going into a recession, there's going to be less travel, the cost of travel goes up. So potentially Airbnbs might be more risky because of less travel, but also the market is kind of saturated. So you might have less bookings. If that's the case, then that's going to hurt my bottom line on this property. So that's a risk, you know. Like I said, reserves are a main thing. That reserves, having cash, that's probably your greatest hedge against a bad appraisal, number one. Number two, I think just really deciding what you want to do on the deal, have a plan and stick to it. I've made the plan to keep this property for at least a year and try it out as a short-term rental. I have some doubts, some hesitation, but I love the property. I want to see how it's going to perform. So I'm not throwing in the towel yet, even though I think my cash flow is not going to be as good because the interest rates went up. Moving forward, knowing what I know now, I'm probably going to flip more properties in Redding. I might not hold as many unless we buy it really right and we get a really good deal and there's a big upside, meaning I buy something really low, I add a lot of value to it, and we can get really good income. So I think those are harder to find, but they're still out there. So we're looking for those. I'm gonna start looking at other markets out of the state probably to try to find better cash flow. But there's deals in any market. So I just want to encourage you, you know, it's okay to invest where you live, but maybe we need processing this in the moment. Maybe we need to adjust expectations on what cash flow should be. So that's the kind of risk reward. This is what I'm processing, thinking about it. We're in a new season. I've only been investing full-time for about 2 years. I started buying property in 15. I did have property in 08, but I was 24, 25, pretty young. So knowing what I know now, I'm more cautious. I try to have more reserves, things to think about, especially if you're entering in right now. Also, just want to say, cash is king right now. There's going to be good deals. But be creative. That's what I keep hearing, especially from seasoned, mature investors. Some of them even say now is a great time for the smaller operator, the newer investor, because they have the flexibility to be creative. So to kind of just sum this up, BRRRR investing still is my favorite strategy, especially in this recession and a high inflation market. Buy and hold still is the best way to go. Putting your money into an asset that's going to appreciate over time is still the best strategy. Also, just think about cash flow, and that's why I flip houses. So I'm going to be flipping more houses, just that quick turnaround to build up cash flow. So if you have any questions about BRRRR investing, flipping, short-term rentals, appraisals, I know this is a lot of information. I'm still learning. There's a lot to learn. Shoot me a DM, like and subscribe. Let me know how I can help you. Have a good day.